Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another Market Movers. It is March 16th, 2021, and before we jump into this, I wanted to remind everyone to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. I do these videos Monday to Friday, and with that being said, let's dive right into it with the first mover of the day, Peregrine Drake from the Plane Chase Anthology, which is up 24.65% from $4.99 to $6.22. Now, it does see a ton of play in Commander, most recently actually in Orval, the all-form deck, and that was a card that was released in Kaldheim. Next up is If Beef Afreet. Say that 3 times fast. This is a reserve list card, up 28.95% from $224 to $289. There actually isn't any decks that use this, so this is only going up because it's a reserve list card from Arabian Nights. Next up on the list we have is Arcane Lighthouse from Commander Anthology Volume 2. This is up 29.24% from $6.19 to $8, and it does see a ton of play in Commander as well, most recently in a Toshiro Umezawa deck, and there's 17 decks that run it with that commander in mind. Next up, Ring of Gix from Urza's Legacy. This is a reserve list card, up 30% here today from $9.99 to $12.99, and it does see no play, at least on any registered decks on MTG Goldfish. So the reason it's going up today is obviously because it is a reserve list card, and they're very hard to find now in near mint condition as they're being bought up. Next card on the list is Kai Takahashi from Legends. This is up 30% here today from $29.99 to $39.05, seeing new all-time highs. And there is actually one commander deck that does play it, Amara Soul of the Accord, and you can purchase that deck for about $354, but you can find a cheaper Kai Takahashi for Chronicles for about 11 cents to 25 cents on the market. Next card we have to talk about on the list here is Shivan Dragon. This was one of the hits that we've always had on almost every market mover, especially when I first started doing it. But this card is up 31.47% from $9.50 to $12.49. Very, very expensive now compared to its price relative to about a month ago. Next up is Moat from Legends. This is a reserve list card, up 37.38% from $2,497 to $3,431. And it does see a lot of play in Commander, and more recently in a Legacy deck, a Stand-Still Legacy deck. But this is a reserve list card from Legends, so it is going up aggressively. Phyrexian Tribute from Mirage. This is another fairly cheap reserve list card, actually. This is up 46.24% from $5.99 to $8.76, and there's no decks that actually are running this, at least that I could find registered. This is only going up because it's a reserve list card. Next up is Vivisix Asmati. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. From Legends, this is at 49% from $67 to $101, and there is actually one registered deck that does use it as the commander on MTG Goldfish, and for that reason, it is going up, but it's also available in Chronicles for about 67 cents on the market. Master of Cruelties from Ravnica Allegiance Guild Kits. This first was released in Dragon's Maze. This is just the Guild Kit version, up 52.88% from $10.93 to $16.71, and it does see a ton of play in Commander, specifically Rakdos commanders like Kalia of the Vast that uses it. Next up is Xira Arian from Legends, up 55.44% here today, seeing new all-time highs from 72.86 to 113.25, and it does see a lot of play, mostly in Commander, as there is some decks that run it as the commander, but you can find a cheaper Chronicles version for about 70 cents, so that's not bad. Peregrine Drake from Plane Chase 2012. We had this card earlier on the list, but from a different set, up 57% from $280 to $440. And yes, it does see play in Orval, the all-form decks, which is a card we got recently in Kaldheim. Next up is Wirewood Herald. This is a dual decks anthology version of the card. There is other copies available that are cheaper. This is up 65% here today from $2.42 to $4, and it does see a lot of play in Commander. Most recently, a Lathril Blade of the Elves deck. Next up we have is Limited Resources. This is a card that was on our list yesterday. I couldn't find the specific reason for it going up, as there is no registered decks that are using it. I can imagine that it's probably because of Commander, but it is up 65% here today from $4.82 to $7.99. And our last card on the list to talk about is Sheltered Valley. This is an Alliances card, up 275% here today from $6.46 to $24.25. Yes, this is a reserve list card from Alliances, and it does see a little bit of play in Commander, and I mean a little bit, in a Karn Silver Golem deck that's registered on MTG Goldfish, and that is a Commander that is a reserve list card, and this is a reserve-list land, so they pair very well together. And now I wanted to talk about some
Beta
basic lands. Yes, beta basic lands. And I think they're a great spec as they are iconic cards and they're very hard to find in near mint. And I think they beat any of the newer fancy, I suppose you could call them, full art lands that are in every set. So they're not really so special anymore when they keep releasing them in every set. This is a beta edition for us. This is the A version. It's Christopher Rush, iconic artist, one of the original artists from Magic the Gathering cards. Here is a beta mountain from Douglas. Beautiful, beautiful basic land here. All of these were hand painted. There was no digital art back when these were all composed. And I think they're getting very, very scarce on the market. And their prices have been going up slowly, but they're still relatively cheap, I believe, considering how rare these are, especially a mint copy of these beta basic lands. So I wanted to showcase them here as a spec at the end of the video because I think that they don't get the appreciation that they deserve, you know, and people, they love those unhinged lands. They love unglued lands, you know, any of the other, you know, very, I guess, showcase style lands, but you have to remember they kind of screwed themselves over when they kept printing more and more full art lands that just did not seem, you know, special at all. Sorry, that's my cat in the background. And because of that, I think they're going to see a massive depreciation. Look at all those unhinged lands that used to be worth like $20 each. They've basically been halved in value because people don't respect Wizards of the Coast policy. They reprinted unlands in double masters as one of the lands that you could get, well, you would get actually, in the VIP packs. So for that, you know, that's a bit disrespectful to a lot of the players who, you know, spec'd on these cards long term. They could have always used new artwork, but they like to reuse old artwork and just sell it back to the players. All right, today's biggest loser on the list here today is Eureka from Legends. This is a reserve list card, down 98% from $10,000 and wow, $100,000. Yeah, so that's definitely a retrace. It does happen sometimes with TCG player price listings that will not be accurate. And my final thoughts on the market are, we are not seeing as many reserve list cards as we were in previous weeks, but that's fine. I imagine there is a bit of a retrace on the way. Not to be worried. I think it's actually a better buying opportunity when there is a bit of a retrace because Magic the Gathering is becoming more of a collectible, in my opinion, than a playable game because we have MTG Arena and we don't really have ways to play in person yet, at least at local game stores or tournaments facilitated by Magic the Gathering's Wizards of the Coast. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on the market down below, and please check out my Patreon account. I love the support from all you guys out there. Thank you so much to the people who have joined up on my Patreon, and I have their names listed right here, so please do check it out. And with that being said, enjoy the rest of your day, and try to enjoy this beautiful weather coming up soon. Please go outside. I know a lot of people have been cooped up indoors, and I'm one of those people too, so I'm just letting you guys know. Sometimes you need some fresh air, and that's what I'm actually going to do right after I upload this video. All right, talk to you later. Being a patron will help me produce more market movers and add to the funds that I will use for my random buys and also to my coffee fund because I drink a lot of coffee with these videos. And here you can see a link below in the description that will give you all the tiers and what you get in each tier. So I hope you guys click and think about joining. And with that, I'll see you next video. Think about supporting the channel that way. If not, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I will see you again in the next video.